Alright, so I just got done watching Inuyasha Season 1, Episode 16. We're on now, 16. Mystical Hand of the Amorous Monk, Miroku. So this episode is loaded with fan service early on here. Actually, you know what? Before we go, I want to shout out the podcasters We View Yasha and Other Tales. I think that's what it's called. I think they've been watching all of my reviews, and that's pretty cool. I listened to the first couple episodes of your podcast. I know there's only so much time in the day. Maybe I'll go through the rest of them, but I'd love to be on the show. I'm catching up at a rapid speed. That's all I got. That's all I got. But shout out, check it out. It's interesting that at the same time we're both separately reviewing. What is this now? Like an 18-year-old anime. It's pretty funny. So immediately this episode opens. Something I thought was very funny is Inuyasha spends more time staring into the distance, is something that I think Shippo says, or that Kagame was thinking about, which is pretty funny because he's kind of troubled by the reappearance of Kikyo in the episode prior. So this episode, whatever, all this stuff is okay, but basically this episode also has a bathing scene where the monk is kind of looking at Kagame and all that, and there's quite a lot of cleavage and fan service, as they call it, and that's what I remember about this show when it was airing when I was a kid. I remember it in my head. It was hypersexual, which is not really the case. Like, I've seen a lot worse now, in terms of just nudity and objectification, etc. This isn't all that ridiculous, and it's pretty so there's always like a consequence for peeping toms or whatever. But besides that, so we meet the monk, and the monk appears to be he's kind of a bad boy, but he's nice at least, and he what is exactly that happens here? So he's got a right hand with a giant wind tunnel in it. Yeah, Miroku is his name. Miroku, with the mystical hand, and he's amorous, which he likes women quite a lot. So basically, they encounter this monk, and he tries to steal shards of he sees Kagame in the hot springs with the part of the sacred jewel around her neck, their big brass hanging out, and he plans this way of attacking the guy Inuyasha and getting the girl who he's also attracted to, and getting the sacred jewel. He does it quite easily. He uses this transforming little fox guy, kind of Ghibli-esque, who becomes a giant boulder and shoots Inuyasha off the side of the cliff. But Inuyasha's way too powerful and pulls through. But he pushes him away with his right suction hand, which is like a curse that he's given. Anyways, so he gets Sacred Jewel, and Inuyasha just goes right for him. He goes right after him. They find him. They battle in the middle of the city. It's a big spectacle for all the villagers in this little town. And they're kind of like, whoa, a demon versus a monk. This is crazy. The monk keeps saying, oh, I don't like violence. I don't like violence. But he loves the women, clearly. And but eventually they fight. He starts doing his suction hand thing. Kagame steps in. This episode was really fast paced. Now that I think about it, it was very entertaining, very engaging. But so we get he's their new travel buddy, because there's a demon called Naruku that cursed his grandfather, that put a hole through his hand that will continuously keep sucking unless he uses prayer beads, and it gets bigger and bigger as they grow older and older, and it keeps every child in his lineage will continue to have this hand until they slay this evil demon Naruku. And Naruku is a shapeshifter. And what we learned about Naruku, the big demon that put a hole through this guy's hand, is that Naruku is likely the reason that there's two truths with Kikyo and Inuyasha's backstory, where one feels betrayed and the other feels betrayed for different reasons, is that it all happened. So Inuyasha did attack Kikyo and say, I want to become a full demon, but that was actually Naruko, the shape-shifting demon, trying to get his hands on the sacred jewel by putting hate between two lovers. It's just neat that they've found, so these two people have two different reasons to come together and slay this demon. If Ship was just along for the ride, it's nice to actually be given some narrative context here. Yeah, it's a pretty good episode. I like the monk guy. I think he's kind of he might get annoying with his whole the fact that we've inserted another dude that's like into Kagame into the Inuyasha relationship is going to get really contrived. I think really fast. It's going to get really boring. This guy's also kind of a perv. They called him a leecher in the subtitles that I had. He, like grabs her butt he asks her if she will bear his child. He's a monk though. He's a monk, but will you bear my child? Just straight up. He's just going right for the jugular. So we're definitely entering into some more sexual content here, at least with this episode. The monk's a creep, and I love the idea of people getting curses that pass on from the family to family. I think that's pretty cool. And there's a little fight. Inuyasha says, "Oh, you're just a jewel detector to me, Kagame," and they have this all little fight, and Shippo's like, "Ah, grown-ups." I forgot to say this too. Shippo asks Inuyasha straight up and he's naked. You see his tiny little fox penis. He says to Inuyasha, "How far have you and Kagame gone?" Just straight up. And he's like, "Adults always get all tongue-tied." I didn't realize Shippo was actually like a little kid. I thought he was just like that. I don't know. But that's all I got to say. This episode was pretty silly, but it was good. Thanks for watching.